Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spill the Tea Lou. I hope you are all good and well. I hope you've all had a very lovely afternoon. It's nice to see you. Guys, it's going to be a very chilled out show this evening. I'll be honest with you, there's not a whole lot going on in the world of the Premier League at the moment. Today, anyway, there's kind of a rehashing of a lot of the same stories. There's like developments and then non-developments of the same stories over and over again. So I'm not going to bore ye all to death with the same information. So we'll have a little look. Hull are going to be promoted to the Premier League. The match ended 1-0 to Hull between Hull and Middlesbrough. We'll have a wee look at that, kind of the teams that are coming up. There is a little bit of news around Romero and a very small report around Lewis Hall, which we've touched on previously. Other than that, we can talk about whatever you like, really, in terms of football. If there's any transfers you want me to look up, we'll look them up live. Any of them I haven't touched on or covered, shout them out and we'll have a look. Yeah, at the moment, the tea bag has just been sucked dry at the moment. There's just not a lot. And I'm not into that, repeat the same story over and over again because there's nothing new. But obviously it's Saturday. So a lot of these agents and transfer people, they will work office hours. They'll work 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or whatever it is, Monday to Friday. So there won't be an awful lot generally on Saturdays and Sundays. Maybe when we go right into the thick of the transfer market and it's open, we'll see a bit more of them. But in general, there's not a lot going on today, so I'm not going to force it. We'll just have a little talk. We'll have a little look at whatever you guys want to talk about, really, after I do the first few wee bits. But first of all, the most important part of the show, let me say hello to all of our teacups. I have seen, obviously, that JT is with us this evening. Nice to see JT. Rob is here, Aftab, Damien, Paige, Palace, Stewart. Hello to Luke Chapman. Hello to Luke. Luke is a new subscriber. Thank you for being here. Our Flossie is in the house. I've said Damien. I'm sure I saw other people. Luke is here as well. And there's our Shem. Loads and loads of lovely teacups in the chat. So it's nice to see you all. It's nice to have you with me. Streets is here. Streets, we thought you were on the missing list. How have you been? We hope you are good. It's nice to have you back in with us this evening, Streets. Mohammed is also here. Hello to Mohammed. But yes, guys, probably what I would consider to be the best outcome has happened in the Championship playoff final. Hull has beaten Middlesbrough 1-0 with an Ollie McBurney goal in the 95th minute. So it was a long old game for those. I didn't watch it, guys. I just looked at the score. But it will have been a long old game for those fans and for those players and for anybody that was watching that match. I just think it's probably the cleanest result. While I very much feel for the Middlesbrough fans because they've now had 2 losses. They've been knocked out of the playoffs twice in the same season, which is obviously, maybe that's never happened before. I don't know because there's never been a situation like this. And obviously it's just a bit of an emotional roller coaster for them. They're out and then they've another bite of the cherry and then they're out again and it's a tough one for them. So it is. It's a really tough one for them. So I do feel for the fans, but I also just do think that Tom is here as well. Hello, Tom. Hello. When did you sneak in there? But yes, so I think it's the cleanest result for Hull to go up. It's the one with the least controversy. And like they were saying before, they may end up taking legal action if they'd lost because of, the disadvantage that they would have been at with not knowing which team they were preparing for. There was a whole big thing that could have happened if Hull didn't win. So I'm glad they did. And that's the end of it kind of a thing in terms of footballing. So that means that the 3 teams that are coming up are decided and they're on the thumbnail. So you've probably already seen them. But it's just, it just brings an end to that. How do we feel, guys? How do we feel about the teams that are coming up? Do we feel like they've any chance? So you've got Coventry and Ipswich who were pre-qualified and now you've got Hull, the third one. So do we think, because normally we have this thing of 3 up, 3 down, And then we had this season a dramatic departure from that, and it's certainly not 3 up, 3 down. So do we think any of them will actually last? Do we think any of them, because obviously I don't watch the championship, guys, so I don't know. I'm relying on you guys that watch the championship. Coventry came top of their table with 95 points, which is quite a sum because Ipswich was the next closest. So Coventry were first with 95 points. Ipswich were in second, but there were like 11 points behind them. 11 points clear at the top of the table. That feels like a pretty big old chunk of points. Do you know what I mean? Like 11 points, that's nearly 4 wins. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a big old gap. Or Coventry now, some friends of my mum's, they're Coventry supporters, they're from Coventry, but I've never watched Coventry, do you know what I mean? So but that's a big old chunk of change to be ahead of the second place team. So anybody that watches the championship, do we think Coventry might be a bit of a surprise package if they come up? Let me know, because you guys know more than me about the championship, a lot more than me. JT says, I think Coventry will be a dark horse. Mohammed says Hull will go back down, the other two will stay up. And yes. That's what I was talking about there. That's what I was talking about a wee minute ago. And Streets is saying, congrats to Hull. It's been a whole 9 years, I believe. 9 years. I saw now. I'm relying on X. So maybe I'm wrong on that. But the X said 9. The X. I sound like I'm 90 years old. The X said 9 years. So like nearly a decade. Crazy stuff. But I like that as well. I like that it's not the same teams up and down as well. You know, we're not seeing the same faces, the same teams, the same people getting a chance and then not taking it. I like that it's different, a different team coming up. I think that's good. Paige is willing Bayern on in the chat there as well. And Damien says the championship this year has been cooking. And Flossie is saying Lampard has had them playing really well. They seem to think a lot of him. Like, it seems to be a really good combination. And I talk about that often. Sometimes you can be a good team or a good manager. And, you know, if it's not the right match, it doesn't work out. But yeah, it seems to be doing really well. Palace reckons maybe Ipswich won't last. Neil is here. Hello to Neil, who says, I'm glad Hull City won today. Justice was done. It definitely did feel that way. Paige said, if Coventry can do a Sunderland and get a couple of proper signings in, they could stay up. And this is going to be the fun of it because, 11 points. 11 points is a lot. It makes you think that they're drastically better than all of the other teams in that league. So if they come up, you would imagine looking at this, they're the most likely to stay up. But I mean, it's always hard. It's always hard because the competitions are so very different. The financial stuff is different. Everything's different. Everything's different. Do you know what I mean? But I think 11's a lot. And we've had I think overall, the Premier League has been good this season. I've enjoyed it and I felt like the talent has been sort of spread out. I think the sort of middle of the road teams have put up a serious fight. But if we look at it here, if Spurs do stay up and they don't have a drastic improvement, they're in trouble again next season. Forest, you don't know what's going to happen there because that's so topsy-turvy. Crystal Palace have been all over the place and they're losing their manager, having lost several of their best players. They might be in trouble next season. Do you know, Sunderland, what age is Xhaka? If Xhaka doesn't stay, they could be in a bit of trouble. Nobody knows what's happening with Chelsea. I think Alonso will make a difference. So I think if they hadn't got Alonso, they were in a bit of trouble. Fulham, there's talks of their manager going elsewhere as well. I don't know if that will come of it, but you know what I mean? There's a lot of teams there that could be in a little bit of trouble if Coventry come in and as Paige said there, get some good transfers. Do you know, it could make all the difference in the world. That's what made the difference for Sunderland, to be fair. Hello, our Wills. Wills is in the chat. Paige says, shoot, Mourinho is in attendance for the German Cup final. Yes, he is in attendance because I don't know if it's your CEO or whoever it is, come out and said he can keep 5 eyes on Olise if he wants, but he's not having him. So there's already been talk about that Jose Mourinho is going to be attending the match and he better keep his eyes off, or he can keep his eyes on whatever players he feels like, but he's not getting Olise. I don't know who the name of the man was because obviously I'm not familiar with their kind of setup. But I saw that quote earlier and it did make me laugh. I was like, it's very Jose. It's very Jose, just making waves wherever he goes. Yes, Damien, Jose doing Jose things. And yeah, Marco Silva has been linked to a few different places at this moment in time. Really, they have. But guys, it's one last thing I want to say kind of on the whole thing, and then I'll talk to you about Romero and why he's making waves again. Paige is saying go and weaken Dortmund instead. JT is saying if Boris lose Anderson, Morgan Gibbs White and Murillo, it could be dangerous for them. And there's talk about their manager. He only signed a 2-year deal. When he signed up to Forest, he signed a 2-year deal. So he's already going into the last year of his contract. He's halfway through the contract. And supposedly there was talks of they were going to offer him another contract. Then there was that link with Marco Silva that they'd already approached Marco Silva, but Marco Silva turned them down. And then Nottingham Forest said, no, we completely deny this. We're actually in the middle of negotiating a new contract for Vitor Pereira. So yeah, even their manager situation is a little bit up in the air. If they lose Anderson, which looks likely, Morgan Gibbs White, I think there will be a bit of a fight for him and Murillo, and then they maybe lose Vitor Pereira, although I'm not completely convinced by him after his stint at Wolves. Yeah, that's one that could completely just fall off. And like that, I do think if Chelsea hadn't got Xabi, I probably would have been, I don't know if they would have been relegated, but I do think they would have just fallen down the table, if you get what I mean. Hello to Richie, who has joined us and has said, evening Lou and chat, congrats to Hull City and welcome to the Premier League. Exactly right. Where is that? There we are. But also, Hull only just avoided relegation last season on goal difference. They had a transfer ban in the summer and have now got themselves back into the Premier League. What a story. So they avoided relegation last season on goal difference. They had a transfer ban. So the squad that avoided relegation on goal difference, they couldn't add anything to it. They had a transfer ban. And they have now managed to get themselves into the Premier League. I mean, if nothing else, that's serious mentality. That is serious hard work and mentality. It's just craziness. So yeah, I think they could be interesting. Obviously, they finished 6th in the championship and it was a 95th minute goal to send them through. But I mean, that's to go from avoiding relegation on goal difference to finishing 6th even is incredible. To then get yourself over the line with a transfer ban to the Premier League. I think that's really quite good, guys. I really do. Oh, well done, Damien. That's a good one. I guess they hold themselves back up to the Prem. But oh, that was good, Damien. I found that a lot funnier than I probably should have. That was genuinely quite funny. I love all that kind of silly humour. It's very, very my style. JT says, I really think it would be crazy if Spurs go down because I really think they are back in and around the top next season with the money they have, De Zerbi and the players that will be returning from injury. I mean, oh God, JT, That was hilarious. Oh dear. Oh God. They're quite funny. They're quite funny. Yeah, I do. I have the humor of a 5-year-old. I really do. Like, I'm such a simple child, really. I definitely am. But I do think this is interesting. I think De Zerbi will make a big difference, but I think they actually need to do what United started last season and need to continue this season. They need to clear out the dross. They need to clear out the bad attitudes. They need to clear out the rotten apples. They need to boil the barrel. Do you know what I mean? They need to they need to clear house a bit, some of the bad attitudes. And you're right, some of the players that will come back from injury, I think, will serve them massively. De Zerbi has said he's staying with them no matter what. So I do think they'll improve next season. I think they'll improve next season, but I think a part of that will be contingent on having to clear out the bad attitudes, because you don't want new players or returning players going into that nastiness. Mohammed, Middlesbrough versus Southampton next season is going to be fun. Red cards all over the gaff. Red cards everywhere. And Spurs don't like to spend too much. That is also true. Also true. But that's kind of, yeah, I just wanted to celebrate Hull a little bit because, there's been such a debacle between Spygate and all the nonsense in the back and forth and not knowing who they were going to face and all of the things that went wrong for them. So I wanted to shout them out. Also, for those that maybe don't know, the non-United fans among us, one of United's players is actually being on loan at Hull. Toby Collier, he's a midfielder. He's a very good midfielder. I really like him. He's strong. He's really, really, he's good. He's good. The problem is he really struggles with injuries. He really, really, really struggles with injuries. You won't have seen him on the pitch if you watched it today or in the lineup because he's been out with an injury for the bulk of the second half of the season. He really struggles with injuries. I would like to see more of him. I would like to see him do well. I would like to see him in our midfield. He's very good and he's defensive. He's a very good defensive midfielder, but he struggles so much with injuries. He really struggles with injuries. Hello, Bonkers. Bonkers is with us as well. And Lucky has joined us. Sorry, I'm reading two comments at the same time and I've got confused. Streets is saying, Collier is a talent, but we must speak on Jim Thwaites. His time must come. I haven't seen a lot of Jim Thwaites, if I'm honest, Streets. I've seen other people. I know there's a lot of people that follow the younger teams, the youth teams, much more closely than me and would know a lot more about these players than me. And one of the guys that knows quite a lot, he really follows the youth teams. He has said about, do some people call him Jimmy? I'm sure he calls him Jimmy Thwaites. But maybe I'm getting that wrong. But I know he speaks on him and he has a lot of good things to say about him. So I wonder if maybe he's one that we might see in the pre-season tour. But I would be interested to see him. It's just I don't know much about him, where I've actually watched Collier play and I know I like him. I just think injuries are going to kill his career before he gets started. And Mohammed, yes, I did see that. Fabrizio has said Liverpool are in for a right back this summer. What position? Who were we talking about earlier? With Liverpool? I can't remember what position it was we were talking about. Yes, I am correct. So earlier on lunchtime show, we spoke about the fact that Liverpool were getting linked to Denzel Dumfries of Inter, and he is in fact a right back. And then today, after my show, by the way, guys, not that I think Fabrizio's watching me, but it was after the lunchtime show, after I spoke to you guys about Denzel Dumfries and his link to Liverpool, Fabrizio Romano came out and said that Liverpool are looking for a right back this summer. So I just thought that was quite interesting. It's interesting the way these things sort of link up. And Lucky has said, yes, I did see this earlier as well. Adam was speaking about this on FUTV. I believe he knows Sully Talks, like on a personal level, as I understand. I might be getting that wrong though. But Sully Talks, he's kind of He's a bit of an ITK. He's not a journalist. He's a bit of an ITK, but he seems to be getting sort of more reliable more recently. And he came out and said that Manchester United have likely won the race for Mateus Fernandes, and the player is favouring a move to Manchester United over any of the other teams. I don't know about the value. I don't know if that's the value he put out there. Maybe that is right, but I'm not 100%. Let me just pull it up while it's here, because as I said, guys, we don't really have a plan for this show. It's just whatever you guys feel like talking about, and I'll pluck them out and we'll have a look at them live. Oh, Murillo has signed a new contract extending his stay with Nottingham Forest until the summer of 2030. That has been announced on the Nottingham Forest page. So Nottingham Forest, Murillo is not leaving. He was one of the three players, JT, you mentioned just a moment ago. So updates. Murillo has signed a new contract extending his stay with the club until the summer of 2030. Posted by the official Nottingham Forest page 23 minutes ago, guys. So Murillo off the table. Boom. That's the end of him. He's gone. So that leaves two. I suppose what they're thinking is kind of what you're thinking, JT. If they're going to lose an Anderson and maybe a Morgan Gibbs White, they need to cling on to the ones that they can, essentially. So they read everybody else's mind and they went, nah. But let me see. Solly talks. So he's put this out 4 hours ago. Exclusive. Manchester United believe Mateus Fernandes is giving them priority over other clubs following talks with his reps. The 21-year-old is high on the shortlist with Carrick and the Data team rating him highly too, because of course the Data team need to be involved. Morons. The deal is dependent on the West Ham asking fee and their Premier League situation. He hasn't mentioned a value here in this tweet. He hasn't put a value. He has linked something though. Right, let me click the link. Maybe the link has a value. The link is off a video. Well, I'm not going to be able to watch that, am I, Sully? So in his actual post, he hasn't included a value. However, what I will do, guys, I'm going to link you the video. So if you guys want to listen to it, you can do, because I can't see a value, but it might be that he says it in the video, and obviously I can't listen to the video when I'm speaking to you guys. But he has put that out there, as Lucky said, about United feeling that they are the favourite. Let me see. Okay. Let me scroll. Oh, hello. Thank you very much to Stuart. Stuart is in with the black cat. It's Stuart. I was worried about the black cat. We had all lemon and lime earlier. I was a little bit worried about the cat. I thought maybe the cat had taken ill, but I'm glad that the cat is okay. Thank you very much to Stuart. I do appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. Let me see. Huge says, I do believe he is the most similar to Anderson. So if we don't get him, it makes sense to go for Fernandes. I do like Fernandes, but I think 70 odd million feels really expensive. I know that's sort of the price of players these days. It just does feel drastically expensive though. And yeah, that's true from JT. Like, that's probably just a starting number that West Ham are throwing out there. It's probably not where the negotiations are going to end, because obviously United are going to go in and be like, I'm not paying that. And then West Ham are going to be like, well, that's what we want to sell him. And now I've refreshed my feed and everybody is just talking about Murillo. But we've already spoken about it. So, you know, we're on the pulse. West Ham Central, to be fair, have posted this, and I did see this from West Ham Central earlier, and West Ham Central is a reasonably decent account. Hello to Carl. Do I talk about the Champions League? I do when it's on. I do indeed. Oh, yes, we've done quite a few videos on the Champions League this season, so we have. So 100%, Carl, and thank you for subscribing. It's nice to have you here. Bum bum bum. Huge reckons if we do get Mateus Fernandez, 55 with add-ons is probably what it would end at. I'd be okay with that, to be fair. I'd be good with that. And yes, Shem, another good point. I love this, guys. I love it. I love it. Right, I'm going to come back to this with Shem. I'm going to keep it on the screen because I want to remember. But just on Mateus Fernandez before we move on from him. West Ham Central earlier also put out about Mateus Fernandez. They've said Mateus Fernandez is joining Bruno Fernandes because Bruno, in his acceptance speech for his Premier League Player of the Season award, said that basically he's looking forward to Manchester United being better next season and fighting harder and all that sort of stuff. So I'll be honest, right? There's been a lot of reaction to that. I didn't realise that we were still talking about Bruno Fernandes leaving, and maybe that's just me being a wee bit out of the loop. I know we were talking about him leaving last summer, and I'll be honest, I would have sold him for the 100 million. I would have definitely sold him for the 100 million. I'm very glad we didn't, but that's why I always say, like, the board shouldn't just, or the negotiation people shouldn't always just go by what fans think, because fans always don't know everything. But I do you know what? Let me just star these. There's a few comments, guys. I'm starring them as I see them. And if I don't read your comments straight away, don't panic. Don't panic, because I do come back to them. I'm saving some of them as we're going. And I'm actually going to save that one from Carl as well, because it's a good little point. But so Bruno said this about, he's so glad he's staying. We're going to fight together next season, blah, 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 blah. And people are like super pleased, which is very good. I suppose I just didn't consider that he was going. Do you know what I mean? I hadn't thought about it. So when people are like, oh my God, he's staying, I was like, was he not? Well, when was he not staying? I know, like I said, I know last summer we were talking about Saudi and moving on. And I know was it January there was talk of maybe he would decide after the summer or after the World Cup or something. But then literally absolutely nothing has been said since maybe January. So I just thought when people stopped talking about it that he was staying. I don't know, maybe I blocked it out of my brain. But yeah, so I wasn't overly shocked when he was talking about staying and being here next season. I was like, all right, okay. Happens. But yeah, so in his acceptance speech, he was saying, about being here next season. And then West Ham Central come out with this: Mateus Fernandez is joining Bruno Fernandes. And it kind of just set the tongues a-wagging. But I'll be honest, right? There's no actual new news from what we already know. Like, did we not have this conversation like days ago? Like, we're in from, PSG are in from, he would favour us, or he wants to stay in the Premier League. The price is quite high, 70 to 80 million pounds, the initial asking price. It depends if West Ham stay up. To me, nothing has really changed. We're rewording things. We're adding exclamation marks. We're being a bit dramatic, but I mean, as far as I can tell, nothing has actually changed in the situation. So I just find it a little underwhelming, if I'm honest. Until something actually changed. Do you know what I mean? Shout out our Rob. Rob couldn't let that stand with Stuart. Rob has got the fox in. What is the fox saying? The fox is asking, how's it going? How's it going, friend? It's going good. Thank you very much to Rob for the little foxy super sticker. I appreciate you. I've seen our Dave has slunk into the chat. Hello, our Dave. And I want to go back to where did it go? This one. Let's go to Shem first. Now, I have other ones I'm going to bring in, guys, because as I said, the show is very much about whatever you guys want to talk about, because like that, a lot of stories are just sort of repeating. The only other one I'm definitely going to talk to you about is Romero, because it's just madness. Let me see. Okay, so what do we think? Because Robbie Keane has parted ways with, it's Ferencváros, is that how you say the word? He was their manager, and there was kind of talk, was it around the Spurs job? Was there talk of him for the interim? There was talk of him recently kind of coming to the Premier League on a temporary basis, and he said no, he was going to stay where he was, and now he's parted ways with them. I don't know where he's going, if I'm honest with you, Shem. I haven't a clue where he's going. Do you suspect, was it Panathinaikos? Was it? I thought I saw him being spoken about with Ferencváros. Maybe I've answered my own question. Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane steps down as Ferencváros manager. Yeah, it was Robbie Keane resigns as the Ferencváros manager. According to the Scottish Sun, he is the favourite for the Celtic manager job. This is from the Times. Robbie Keane to leave role as head coach of Ferencváros amid Celtic links. Celtic manager favourite Robbie Keane breaks silence on shock Ferencváros exit. So I think that's your answer, Shem. It looks like he might be going to Celtic. This is according to Reddit, so bear with me on this one. Robbie Keane has left Ferencváros and is likely to head to Celtic or Slovan Bratislava because they're so similar. Like, they're such equivalent job roles. What? So yeah, the Scottish Sun and the Times are reporting that he is likely going to be the Celtic manager. That is the word on the street at the moment. I'm just trying to see if there's any other like media reports. News, let's just see. There's a site called balls.ie. Robbie Keane decision sets the stage for move to take over as Celtic manager. Extra.ie, Robbie Keane's Hungary resignation opens door for his dream job. The Mirror, Celtic to join Slovakian champions in Robbie Keane chase. So they're obviously talking about Bratislava as well. So yeah, it looks, by all accounts, it looks like he's going to Celtic, Shem. That looks like his most likely destination as it stands. Flossie says, I didn't see that coming. Apparently neither did anybody else because they're all calling it shock exit, surprise exit. Nobody saw it coming, basically. So Damien back to Celtic, supposedly, according to all the newspapers. Yes, that's what it was. I knew it was you guys he was into. Thank you for confirming I'm not absolutely nuts. Thank you very much, Shem. Let me see. I just want to see if you've got any. JT. And Street says Celtic sounds about right for him. So yeah, I mean that answers that, Shem. You ask and you shall receive. But Bonkers has come in. And to be fair, Bonkers, you said this the other day and then I read it and never said it out loud. For Liverpool, for Bournemouth to overtake Liverpool, even if Liverpool lose and Bournemouth win, there is also a 6-goal swing in the goal difference. So I just wanted to mention that because I meant to say it the other day. Bonkers put it in and I completely forgot. So I wanted to just put that in there for everybody maybe that didn't know that and I didn't tell you. But Bonkers did. Bonkers had the facts. But Bonkers is saying Liverpool are making serious preparations to sign Atalanta's Italian right-back, Marco Palestra. So let's just look at this. Marco Palestra. That's not how you spell it. To Liverpool. Let's see. What's the news? So these rumours go as far back as the start of April. There's it on Transfer Market because they do like links. So Transfer Market put it up on their site on the Rumour Mill forum at the start of April. But it was also on the BBC. Liverpool. Oh, let me see. Right, let's go into the BBC now. This is from the 8th of April, guys. So this is a long-standing interest. So shout out to Bonkers for putting that in here because I obviously hadn't touched on this at all. So let me read this. This is from the 8th of April. Liverpool have joined Newcastle. So Newcastle are also looking at this guy, by the way, people. For anyone who didn't know, Newcastle are here as well. Liverpool have joined Newcastle in monitoring 21-year-old Italy defender Marco Palestra, who is currently on loan at Cagliari from Atalanta. That's the story. That is the entire story on BBC Sport. Right, what else was said about this? Okay, Ron One Football, where apparently the 20 million euro defender broke his silence. But what did he say? Liverpool transfer news. What date was this from? So this, never mind April. This goes back as far as December. How long are you looking at this guy? So this one is from the 15th of December last year. 20 million euro defender breaks silence on potential Liverpool move. News continues to swirl around Marco Palestra, a name that has moved quickly from scouting notes to serious discussion. The young fullback has enjoyed a sharp rise over the last year, and while Anfield interest has already been tested once, the story appears far from finished. Reports in Italy last week suggested that Liverpool made a 20 million euro approach to Atalanta during the summer window. So last summer, you have wanted him since last summer, by the way. That proposal of 20 million euro was rejected, and instead he went to Cagliari on loan, a move that has accelerated his development rather than stalled it. So he's featured in 14 Serie A matches, 3 assists, blah, 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 blah. After the game, Palestra addressed the growing attention around his future. He said, "The attention is nice. I'm just focused on doing well in the Rossa Blue jersey." Blah, blah, blah. The quotes reflect a player grounded enough to acknowledge progress while recognising the work still ahead. Liverpool interest remains relevant. Liverpool's interest has not disappeared, even if it has gone quiet. Under Arne Slot, who guided the club to the Premier League title 24-25, recruitment has leaned heavily on players who can grow within a structured tactical framework. Palestra fits that profile comfortably. Sources in Italy suggest the Premier League clubs continue to monitor his performances closely, Liverpool included. The attraction lies in versatility, age profile, and upside, qualities that remain central to Liverpool during transfer planning. Transfer valuation climbs sharply. Atalanta have now set a 40 million euro valuation, and that was in December. So if he's continued to do well in his loan, that's probably going to be even a little bit higher. The Bergamo club are reportedly prepared to keep the defender until 2027 if that valuation is not met. Return to the table. Okay, so he's been strongly linked to Liverpool for quite some time. Since last summer, he's been linked to Liverpool. They bid 20 million euro, supposedly. Atalanta want a minimum of 40 million euro. But as of April, Newcastle are also looking at this guy. It's right back, isn't it? I'm sure we said he was a right back. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. Marco Palestra is his name. Liverpool, long-standing interest, and Newcastle joined the hunt, supposedly, in April. But Atalanta want a minimum of 40 million euro. So that's a good shout from Bonkers. That's a really good shout from Bonkers. And given that there's now more reports coming out that you guys are interested in right backs, maybe that means that you're going to go in for him a little bit harder. And hello to Daz. Thank you for joining us. And All Boxed Up is here. And Dave is here. Raymond is here as well and says, "Hi, I'm so happy for Hull. Guess is here." But she was lurking. She was sorting the cake out. The cake is sorted. And she's finished her cake. Let me see. Anything on Ederson? Stuart, nothing new. Nothing new on Ederson. Just the same stories from before. Getting closer. We're his favourite. He wants us. Personal terms agreed. The closest thing to here we go it can be before here we go. I mean, there's nothing new. I only think the newest development, the only next thing that can happen is either it's all going to fall through or we're going to get it, here we go. There is no next step. Do you know what I mean? So, no, it's just more of the same, to be honest, Stuart. Yes, Mickey Van de Ven did speak to Sky Sports. I didn't listen to it because he irritates me. But he did speak to Sky Sports. Look, you are correct. And I just opted not to listen to him because I couldn't. I didn't want to. I didn't do my job because I didn't want to listen to him. Palace can't chat. Palace is going to be AFK, but it's still listening, people. Still listening. Let me see. And I just want to get on top because I'm nattering away here. So I want to make sure I'm keeping on top of your comments, guys. Do keep them coming in. Paige is giving us updates on the match. That's all righty. That's all righty. Box stuff is saying, come on, ye all. Well done on the promotion. JT thinks that Germany and Italy are scamming the Premier League teams. I mean, if we keep buying, they're going to keep scamming. Tom says, Hull are a great team to have back. And, oh no, you're very welcome, Bonkers. Like I said, if there's players that I'm like, the Jews are linked to, like properly linked to, and I'm not talking about them, feel free to stick them in the chat because I'll write them down and then I might forget. But then we'll have a night like this where I can just whack it in and I'll do it live. Yeah, I've seen that. Bayern are looking at John Stones. I have seen that. And yeah, that's what happens, JT. The same information recycled again and again and again. And they just, that's exactly it. Exactly this comment. That's why we're having a bit of a free show this evening, because I just don't have the patience for that, if I'm honest. Just don't have the patience. Carl reckons England are favourites for the World Cup. They certainly have to be up there. Who else could it be? So who else do we think could, because as you guys know, I'm not mad interested in the international football, particularly with Ireland not being in the competition. I just don't have the interest in it. It's not that I'm going to ignore it through the summer, obviously, when it's happening, but I mean, I'm not as interested maybe as a lot of you guys. Who do you think? Who do you guys think could be the favourite? Do you think, right, so Paige reckons Spain, France, Argentina. And Carl has said he reckons England are the favourite. Streets is saying Spain, Portugal, Brazil, France. So that's 2 for Spain and 2 for France. Lucky is saying he'll be watching the World Cup. Tom. Oh, I love that. Sorry. It's because I don't care. I don't care, but that's quite funny. Paige is hoping Holland, of course. Shem is hoping Turkey. Shem, are you from Turkey? Are you like related to Turkey? Do you have links to Turkey? Because I'm sure you said that yesterday, didn't you? Do you have links? I love Turkey. Have you got links over there? Lucky says we'll see great players, some England, some Spain, and some Portugal. Dave reckons France. Daz reckons England or Argentina. So that's 2 for England. Is that 2 for Argentina as well? France are taking the lead here. Will says France are easily the favourites in my opinion. They have a deep squad. JT, I think Portugal wins it if Ronaldo can take a step back from being the supreme leader. I don't think he's capable of it, JT. I don't think he's capable of it, if I'm honest. You're a Turkish Cypriot. Shem, I never knew that. You've also hit the caps lock because the ones you tried to do capitalised are small. You've hit your caps lock. I didn't realise that, Shem. I love Turkey. Absolutely love Turkey. It's a beautiful country. Ashtab will support Brazil for Neymar. I love Brazil. I love Brazil. As some of you know, I lived in Brazil, but I don't see them winning it. There's too many divas, there's too many problems, there's too much. A lot of the problems with Real Madrid are going to be in the Brazil squad, and it just puts me off. I love Brazil. I absolutely love Brazil. A beautiful, beautiful country. The people are fantastic. I loved living there. But I just think there's too many divas in their squad. Damien. I can't laugh at another team's misfortune. I mean, Ireland's nowhere near it, so I can't even laugh at them. Although to be fair, Italy are expected to be there, Ireland are not. So it's slightly different expectations. Paige watches to see which gems might come out of the World Cup. That's probably what I'll be doing, to be fair, Paige. I'll not really care who wins or who doesn't win. It'll be a case for me of getting to see some players that I don't normally see. And as you say, maybe some of them gems that sort of stick out there. Luke has some Turkish Cypriots in the family and a couple of half Irish in there as well. You've got a little bit of everything going on there, Luke. You've got all the fun stuff. Tom, yeah, fair. Stuart reckons Spain. Yeah, I don't see that happening, to be fair. He's another drama queen. Excellent player, but he's another drama queen. Foxy, Colombia. It will almost be a home World Cup for them. Stuart has now said Portugal and Brazil. Stuart's just said all the names separately. Spain, Brazil, Portugal. You're like streets when we do the score predictions. Wait. Let me change my mind. Yes, Manu making the squad was great to see. I agree. I do agree. Stuart has moved on to Wales next. Wales are now going to win the World Cup. I mean, Stuart has had the Kool-Aid. Stuart has had the entire cult Kool-Aid, and he's drank it all at once. Mohammed, I will be supporting Spain. I always supported Spain from the Torres days when he joined, but Senegal I like as a nation for the football. Street says Manu watch it is. Damien reckons Portugal just for Bruno and Dallo. Harold with the patriotism. I love it. I love that you're so strong in it all the time. I love that so much. And Mia is back with us, and Mia is saying Bosnia. I love it. Beautiful. Wales are not in it. Oh, so they're in the same place as Ireland. Watching. God, Paige has a love-hate relationship with Spain at the moment. Fair. That's fair. But no, that was interesting because like that, guys, because obviously I'm not really into it. I did see the question come on, and I thought it might be nice just for you guys to get your thoughts in, to have a little chat about it, without me being boring and not talking about it. But we had another question from Carol. This one I can have an opinion on. They're not, Mia. They're not. Mia are not in the World Cup, unfortunately. No, Carol, that's okay. But Carol had a different debate. Can Arsenal do the double? And you know what? Can I just say, it was very polite of you to ask if we speak about the Champions League before you put this question in. So thank you for double checking. That was very nice. But Daz, let me save that one from Daz. We'll come back to that one because that's something for next season. But we'll come back to that. So guys, can Arsenal do the double? I'm assuming Carol is an Arsenal fan. If Anton was here, was it lunchtime Anton was with us, or was it yesterday evening? Anton would be saying absolutely 100% yes. I think it's possible. I think it's improbable. Stuart has left us a post-it note with a little love heart. He says he'll be back. Stuart has left us a post-it note. Thank you very much to Stuart for your post-it note. Can Arsenal do the double? They can. I think it's possible. Sometimes when you go, no chance. I don't feel like that. I think it's possible. I think it's unlikely. I don't see it happening, but I wouldn't look at, like I said, it's not one of those things where I look at it and I go, no way, Jose. I wouldn't feel that strongly about it. However, I do just feel like PSG are better. PSG against Bayern Munich were incredible because Bayern Munich are so good. And I just think, I don't know if Arsenal has that. I don't know if Arsenal has that. And for those who don't know, because obviously some of you guys will be new, I said weeks and weeks ago that I thought Arsenal would lose the match against Manchester City, but that both teams would then lose points, but that Arsenal would win the league. So I said for a long time I thought Arsenal would win the Premier League. The Champions League, I don't think so. I don't think so, no. I think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I just don't. I think PSG are too good, is where I'm at with it. Will says, fair, but we made Bayer look average too this season. Oh, I like your new little profiler, Wills. That's new. That's a new addition since you've won the Premier League. I like that. That's a good one. I like it. I like it. Marlon is saying PSG have a world-class attack. Mia says, if PSG didn't have Enrique, I'd say Arsenal are favourites. I rate Enrique that highly. If you put him in Arsenal, then they beat PSG. No disrespect to Arteta. Harold reckons 60-40 to Arsenal. Harold reckons 60-40 to Arsenal. And I saw JT give us percentages. JT reckons 35-65 to Arsenal as well, I'm assuming. Luke, who is Arsenal, reckons 50-50. And Street says it's going to be a tactical battle worth witnessing. Do you know what I hope? I hope it's a good game. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's an entertaining game. Because see, when you say, right, and this is just my brain, you said tactical battle and I went, oh, that means no goals. Do you know? And maybe it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? I know some of you like that, the tactical outmaneuvering. But I saw tactical battle and I was like, oh, no, I want goals. I want entertainment. I would prefer PSG to win, but I just want to be entertained. I want to enjoy it. Aftab reckons no, Arsenal won't win the double. Mohammed says no, thank you. I don't mind them winning the Premier League, but the double is too much. That's where Mohammed draws the line. The Premier League is fine, but we draw the line at the double. Fair. I think that's fair. Mia says, imagine Arsenal win the final from a corner. I mean, Mia, that would be a little bit of a meltdown. I have to say, I personally don't really mind the corner set piece thing. It doesn't bother me too much. I don't like the wrestling of the goalkeeper in the boxes. I don't like that, but that's not just an Arsenal thing. I actually think Everton have been worse than Arsenal for that all season. But the corners don't bother me. I like a goal is a goal is a goal. It doesn't really matter where they come from. So, but yeah, I do think a lot of people would be very annoyed if Arsenal beat PSG 1-0 with a corner. I think I might have to take a little break from YouTube because I don't know if I could cope. But I'm sure the Arsenal fans would enjoy that. If I was an Arsenal fan, that's what I would want. I would want a 1-0 win with a corner. That's what I'd be begging for if I was an Arsenal fan. What are you guys saying? Wills, good shout. Best attack versus the best defense. That's what it's going to be. That is what it's going to be. It will be. I hope to enjoy it. I hope to enjoy it. Let me see. Mohammed is around 67% leaning towards PSG. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I read it backwards. JT's one is backwards. JT was 35 Arsenal, 65 PSG. Apologies. I've misquoted JT. Marlon wants to know which one of Arsenal's fullbacks is going to stop those PSG wingers. And I think that's a very fair question. And Shem is saying, yeah, Arsenal's defence against PSG's attack. Arsenal also would love the counter-attack ability because PSG will have the ball. And I did see this, and I didn't know how to bring it in. Because obviously I'm not English, I'm not political. People come on YouTube to get away from politics, and obviously Keir Starmer is a political figure. But Keir Starmer has written an open letter to TNT Sports urging the broadcaster to reconsider its decision not to make the Champions League final free to air. They're not going to do it, obviously. But you know what? Like I said, I know nothing about him, nothing about his politics. I'm not political. I'm not even English, so I don't want to get into that. But when I saw this, it did make me smile. I thought, good on him. Do you know what I mean? Whatever about his political affiliations, I genuinely couldn't tell you who or what he is, right? But I did think when I saw this, fair play to him. Do you know, because it should be free to air. It should be free to view. You shouldn't have to pay to see the Champions League final. I thought he was absolutely right. And it did make me smile, and I did think fair play to him. It's going to make no difference whatsoever, but I thought it was a nice gesture. And maybe that's me being naive because I don't know anything about him, but I did like the gesture. If our we call our prime minister a Taoiseach, and he's a bit of a weapon. He's absolutely a bit of a moron. He's not very good at his job. But if he put out a letter like this, I'd probably still like it, even if I don't like him. Do you know what I mean? So I did see this, and I did think I quite liked it, to be fair. Mia says, corners don't bother me either. I wish my team were as good at corners, but it's funny seeing people complain about them. That's true. That's true. Streets reckons that better not happen. He's having none of it. He doesn't want it. Oh, the chaos. The chaos draws me in. I don't want Arsenal to win, but if they must win, I hope that's how. Mohammed is with me on that one. And JT says, most people said over the season PSG were better last year and we competed with them quite well with a very thinned down squad. I just thought throughout the competition, they got better and better and better. I thought they improved with every round throughout the Champions League this season. So if they continue to improve, I just can't see it. Like I said, I don't think it's impossible. I don't see it. Stuart reckons it could go to penalties. Carol says Gabriel and Saliba. So that's who's dealing with the wingers. I'm assuming that's what the answer was, because the question was put out, who's going to deal with those PSG wingers? So I'm assuming this is the answer to that question. Carol is saying Gabriel and Saliba. JT, I would like to inform everybody, JT is being sarcastic. Everybody calm down. Oh, he's an Arsenal fan, is he? See, couldn't have told you that. Wouldn't have known. In his statement, he said that he would have asked for this even if it wasn't Arsenal in the final. So I will just say that was part of his statement. He did say, I would have said this even if it wasn't for Arsenal. I didn't know why that was. I thought he was saying it as in like even if it wasn't an English team, but it's obviously because he's an Arsenal fan. That makes more sense to me now. I didn't understand at the time. And Flossie, yeah, when Sky had the finals, they made them free to air. Imagine when Sky are putting TNT to shame. I mean, really and truly, you just have to know. You just have to, like, come on, TNT, you're letting the side down here. When Sky, one of the biggest money grabbing gits on the planet, want to make something free and you don't. I mean, look at yourself in the mirror. Yes, Daz, I have seen the new rules. I'm waiting to see them implemented in the World Cup. We went through the rules. Let us see. I have them saved here because all the new rules keep coming out. So let us have a little look at them. And then I'm going to tell you about Christian Romero. Guys, you're never going to believe this. I actually genuinely can't believe this, right? We've been here for an hour already. That time absolutely flew. What did we talk about? Thank God. Thank God that I don't bother my backside doing them little timestamp things. Because really and truly, how would you timestamp this? What would you do? Let me see. What? See my X feed. It is the randomest. It's the randomest pile of everything. Right. Okay. Go to my bookmarks because I have it saved. I have it saved because I knew people would want to talk about it. That's the Christian Romero thing. I suppose I'm going to mention the Lewis Hall thing as well because I put it in the title, didn't I? Lads, this is why I never have anything prepared before shows, because I never know what I'm going to talk about. I just sort of do it on the fly. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we talk about is where it's at, really. Okay. This is from ages ago. This is from when it came out in March. FIFA has announced new rules for the 2026 World Cup, and then it was later announced that some of the rules being trialled for the World Cup may be adopted into the Premier League next season if they go well. Okay, so some of the rules are fast substitutions. The substituted player will have a maximum of 10 seconds to leave the pitch. If they take longer, their replacement must wait 1 minute before entering, leaving the team temporarily with 10 players. Time control on restarts. A 5-second timer will be applied for throw-ins and goal kicks. Exceeding this time will result in a loss of possession. Medical treatment off the pitch. A player receiving treatment on the field must leave and wait 1 minute before returning. So that's instead of the 30 seconds we already have. Unless the injury was caused by a card-worthy foul. But who knows what's card-worthy these days? VAR will be able to review second yellow cards leading to sending off, as well as wrongly awarded corners. And the rule that only the captain can approach the referee is reinforced. Other players risk a yellow card if they crowd the referee. So these are all going to be in the World Cup. I can share the link to that for you guys. Oh no, you silly sausage. I don't even know what I'm after clicking there, lads. So that's the link to that with that list I've just read out. They're for the World Cup, okay? But there were several reports after that came out that some of these, if they go well in the World Cup, will then be implemented into the Premier League next season. The one that seems to be the most likely to be implemented, the most popular, the most talked about, seems to be this one of time control on restarts, 5 seconds for throw-ins and goal kicks. That seems to be the most of it. Let me see. Let me see. Is there not new rules for the wrestling in the box also? I would imagine there will be, Flossie. They have to. I imagine they're going to have to. I've seen some people suggesting that you just shouldn't be allowed, like players shouldn't be allowed in the 6-yard box, but sure, then what's the benefit of having a corner? So I don't think that's going to work. But yeah, they're going to have to do something, because what's happened this season hasn't worked. There's been problems. It's caused problems. It's caused difficult decisions. It's caused a whole heap of problems. So I reckon they're going to have to do something, but it hasn't come out yet. I'd say they need to sit in a little room and talk about it for 2 months before they come up with what they're going to do, or hope the World Cup makes a decision and then they'll just adopt that one as well. And then they don't have to do it themselves, basically. But yeah, Damien says, having these rules is all good, but enforcing them consistently is another thing. Yeah, that tends to be our problem. In the Premier League, is we don't enforce any of the rules that are put in place. But guys, let us talk about Romero, okay? So obviously there was a whole hullabaloo. Romero is over in Argentina. He's watching his team, like his team that he supports, his that he's a fan of. They're going to be in a cup final to win a cup that they've never won before in their history. He's going to be over there instead of at the Spurs match where, his team might get relegated. It's one of their biggest days in modern history, etc., etc. And there was a public outcry. I think it's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen from a club captain in my life. I can't believe it. And he should never, ever don their jersey for them again. But then today, he put out a picture on his personal social media of himself in his barber's in London. Yes, in London. And so then a whole big hullabaloo came out and was like, oh my God, he's in the country, he's in London, he's posted a picture of himself at his barber's, he's going to be at the match. It was a Storm and a Key Cup. He was always going to be here, blah, 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 blah. And then that wasn't the end of it, guys. You would think that's enough drama. No, it's not. Because then some fans have said, well, actually, no, this is an old picture. He's not in London. This is an old picture. This haircut happened several weeks ago, and he's just reposted a different angle of the same thing because his son is in the picture and his son is wearing the same clothing. The barber is wearing the same clothing. The weather is the same. People are saying it's the same day in the same picture from a couple of weeks ago. And he's posted it purposely to try and confuse the Spurs fans. Because why else would you post that? The plot thickens. Now, in the meantime, right, I'm trying to get it up here, guys. So let me share my screen with you because this one's hard to like wrap your head around because it's mental. Let me see this one. Okay, so this is on Touchline if anyone wants to see it. Spurs fans are theorising that Christian Romero posted an Instagram picture to make it seem like he was in London today, but the photo may actually be from May the 6th. Romero travelled to Argentina to continue recovering from his injury, which frustrated some Spurs fans ahead of tomorrow's game versus Everton, a match where the club could still end up relegated. The defender received heavy criticism from Spurs fans, which later led to Roberto De Zerbi publicly defending the Argentine player. He didn't really defend him that hard, if I'm honest, because he did say that he said he understands why the fans are annoyed and that some players lead differently, and that was the choice that Romero had made. So he didn't really stick up for him. He didn't, if you know what I mean. He didn't stick up for him. He just didn't throw him under the bus was all. But I think to say he stuck up for him is a little bit harsh on De Zerbi because he didn't really. Today, Romero posted an Instagram story with his London barber, showing himself getting a haircut alongside his son. Spurs fans, oh for fuck's sake. I've lost my spot now. Spurs fans thought he was back in London to support the team. However, some Spurs fans quickly noticed similarities with another photo Romero posted on May the 6th. In both pictures, Romero and his son appear in almost identical positions. Romero was wearing the exact same shoes, and the barber is wearing the same white shirt. Spurs fans now believe the photo was posted today may have actually been taken weeks ago. They think Romero made it look as though he'd taken it today to make people think he was in London. Okay, so there's the first picture. Can I zoom? I can't zoom, guys, sorry. There's the first picture. There he is. There's his little shoes. There's the son and the barber. And then we go to the next picture. Same shoes, same barber wearing the same clothes, and you can see the weather outside's the same. Guys. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Honestly, why? Like, that he's taunting his own fans, pretending he's there, getting people excited. Why would you taunt your own fans? Even if nobody had clicked this today, do you see by tomorrow, they're all going to know. Like, I thought it was quite mental, if I'm honest with you. I thought it was a little bit nutty. Yeah, he's taken the pizzazz. He's completely taken the pizzazz, but he's doing it to the Spurs fans. He's taken the pizzazz out of the Spurs fans. I think it's mental. Who sits down? He had to go through his camera roll to do that. Like, why would you do that? And why would you include a picture that has your son in it as well? Shameful is right. Christian, gaslight the fan base, Romero, says Streets. Yeah, caught. Exactly, Wills. Romero was trolling the fans he's supposed to represent. He must know about this and could easily prove it's not true. Of course he knows about it. What a scam artist. 100%. 100%. Yes. Club captain. He's their captain. Honestly. Exactly. Exactly, JT. De Zerbi did not stick up for him. For anybody who didn't see De Zerbi's press conference, he did not stick up for him. That's a very unfair accusation to level at De Zerbi. He 100% did not. He didn't throw him under the bus. He definitely didn't stick up for him. It was, and I'm paraphrasing, some leaders behave differently was essentially and I mean no harm, that's not how you stick up for someone. Bush. Let me see more of your comments. Yeah, Paige, definitely don't want him. Definitely don't want him anywhere near our club. Absolutely disgraceful behaviour. All boxed up. So this was the defence that was put out by Romero's PR people. And apparently they were very angry. They were big mad. Romero is undergoing treatment for injury and apparently planned treatment with Argentina medics and assisting with recovery before joining up with the Argentina squad with permission from Spurs. So his representatives come out and they said, anybody who's pushing out there that the only reason he's in Argentina is to see this match, it's not true and it's really unfair and he's there for treatment. Okay, which is fine because the only reason he's in the country, I don't believe it is the match. However, he could have had this treatment in England with Spurs for at least another few days. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I understand that's what's been put out there, 100% all boxed up. You're completely accurate. That is what's been put out there. I think it's bull. I think it's doggy doo-doo. What kind of bird is that, Flossie? Parrots, pigeons, chickens? It's very colourful on my screen. So, let me see. What else? Yeah, exactly. The last thing Spurs need right now, and this is what he's doing. It's a parrot. Oh, it's a parrot. Gotcha. I'm with you. I did think maybe, and then I wasn't sure. Let me see. War of fraud. Yes, indeedy. But yeah, I couldn't believe it when I saw it, guys. I really couldn't believe it. I was astounded by this. He's taken the mickey out of his own fan base. And I just thought, that's so wrong. That is so wrong. The only other thing I want to talk to you guys, and it's literally a 2-second thing. There has been another story about Lewis Hall to Man United. This has come out from Sam C Reports now, who was formerly off the United stand, but he left. And he actually does, I have to say, he genuinely seems to have quite good contacts in terms of internally at United. Often when he says things, he's generally reasonably accurate. I still don't think Lewis Hall leaves Newcastle. I just don't see it. But I just wanted to mention it because he's the most credible person I've seen say it. And obviously he's not a traditional journalist. He's not like Ornstein or Fabrizio or anyone. But he's the most credible person that I've seen saying it. So I just wanted to mention it. The story is still going. More and more people are still talking about this Lewis Hall to Man United. I still don't think there's anything in it. I still don't see it. But just because I don't think it's going to happen doesn't mean that I'm not going to mention it. I don't think it's likely. I don't see it happening. But I just wanted to mention more people are jumping on that bandwagon. More people are talking about it. And as Flossie says there, like Lewis Hall is talking about a longer contract with Newcastle. So I just really don't see it. But I said I'd just mention it. I would just mention it because it's another new person talking about it. And there does seem to be a lot of smoke. I just don't see it though, if I'm honest. Kane has scored 1-0 to Bayern Munich. 1-0 to Bayern Munich. Kane has scored, guys. But that is us. That is the end of our 7 o'clock show. We are well over an hour, guys. Thank you all so incredibly much for being here. Thank you for all getting involved. That was a nice show. A bit of a chill, relax, sort of just bounce around whatever we want to talk about show. So thank you very much for participating. Special shout outs, as always, to our Stuart, of course, to Rob, and to all of the lovely teacups who have joined us for the show. Please smash a like on the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you're new and you're just watching from afar. And I will see you all tomorrow, guys. There will not be a 12 o'clock show tomorrow. I'm doing a watch along tomorrow when all the matches are on. So the matches kick off at 4 o'clock in the Premier League tomorrow. I'm probably going to start the show at around 3:30, I would say. Keep an eye on your notifications, because what we'll do is we'll go through the lineups. And then we'll watch the matches together. We'll chat here together. We'll all get the updates together, because obviously nobody can watch all them matches at the same time. So tomorrow, 3:30, no 12 o'clock show. And I will see you all then. Have a good evening, folks.